Which is more damaging? Ghosting the person or letting them know, hey, listen, you're just not what I'm looking for right now?
Letting them know. So you really done. Like, really.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feel, man? You already know what it is. You tuned into another great episode of the Male Translations Podcast, where we break down the difference of what men say and women hear, give men a voice, give women insight on relationships, the men's voice when it comes to relationships. You guys already know who it is. I'm your host, Mr. Male Translations, Clarence, certified life coach, relationship coach, and I'm in here with my guy. No further ado, man, my co-host, good pastor, good friend, co-host of the show, spiritual leader, mentor. Let me see what else. Big brother. What else I can give you? I'm trying to think of something else, man. But Pastor Dozier's in the building, man. Everybody, Pastor Dozier, what's happening, bro? How you feeling?
Good, man. Good here. Trying to stay out this weather. You know how it go.
Right. So for those of y'all that don't know, man, we down here in Florida. So right now we got Hurricane Elsa that's ravishing through central Florida. So right now we feeling it. So instead of connecting, how we normally do, I said, hey, let's listen, let's connect it and be safe, because you never know, man. You might have to spend the next week over here, man.
Yeah.
Nah, I know you got too much going on for that. So, but everybody, man, glad y'all tuned in tonight, man. We got a great conversation for you guys. Every week, man, we try to hit y'all with a banger of a topic, and tonight is no different. So what we're going to discuss tonight is should a man marry a woman's potential, right? Now, what's going on, Val? I see you out there showing love, Facebook land. Everybody that's out there, man, always showing love, vibing with us, man. Y'all tap in, man. Hit that comment section. Let us know y'all still out there, even though we connecting digitally tonight, man. Let us know y'all out there, right? So, like I was saying, man, the topic for tonight is should a man marry a woman's potential? And I came up with this topic because how often I hear women mention of themselves being wife potential. Oh, I'm a wife. I'm a wife potential. I got these qualities, and I oftentimes question it for some individuals, and I know men question it oftentimes when women throw it out loosely as if, hey, woman potential, wife potential is on every corner, on every street. So I think that more often than not, what we say is when a man marries a woman, oftentimes he's marrying what he sees in her, given where she currently is. And so the old saying, man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So the when I hear that statement, I'm hearing myself say, well, that means that she has those qualities before he decides to marry her. So it's almost like the marriage is only validation of what was already there, as opposed to it being a marriage and then an expectation of those things being shown. You know what I mean? So for me, like I said, a lot of the times today's women mentioning that, hey, I am this, I am that, or they'll say stuff past the Dozier like, if I have a husband, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. You hear statements like that, like right. It's like, okay, well, once I reach this level, then you're gonna get these benefits. Then you're gonna see this type of woman come out of me. And so this is why I asked the question: are women expecting men to marry her potential? Why is it that, okay, well, she's saying after this point I get all these benefits if I'm a man, right? So this is what I'm gonna discuss this topic tonight. So everybody out there, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in and tag somebody, tag a friend, an auntie, a cousin, somebody. Let's grow this conversation, because I really want to hear, how y'all feel, both men and women, because I know we got some fellas. Jeff gonna tap in a little bit. Jermaine probably gonna stop through and hear a spell. So, Pastor Dozier, my first question on that: how you feeling out there, man? You good?
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I hear you.
You always be, man, listen, man, it ain't the same when you ain't here, bro. You always be gooned up, cuz.
No, it ain't like that. I'm just trying to make sure I hear you.
27, that's how y'all do. And it's how y'all do for real, too. I told you when I was out there in St. Pete, y'all different from Tampa Negroes.
No way.
See, when I see a Tampa Negro and we just crossing paths, you say, how you talk about in church, how, the black signal is, head up. Caucasian right, signal is head down.
Right.
So I'm figuring that's universal. So
I go
to St. Pete. That's that connection. I told you I got the hurricane out there. So I'm going to pay for my gas. I shoot the little hit in the head nod to the nigga. They looking at me like they about to step off the porch.
Man, go ahead on, man. It ain't
I
like
ain't
that.
I ain't lying. I tell you, listen, I tell everybody I know that have been in St. Pete or come from St. Pete, and they be like, yeah, St. Pete dudes different. That's all I get. They different.
Yeah.
So what makes a woman wife material, right? I know normally, we able to kind of, vibe a little bit before I start hitting you with all the questions, right? But my question tonight, just to kind of start off the conversation, what's going on, Nicholas? I see you, brother. Is what makes a woman wife material in Pastor Dozier's book? When you think about the qualities she should have, or just things that if you can off the top of your mind, point out, what's some of those qualities you think?
I think she gotta be understanding, to him. A lot of women are real understanding about every situation but the guy she with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think she gotta be understanding to him. Off rip, if he don't think she understands, you lost already. I think that's number one. You know what I mean? She gotta convince him that, hey, she understand him. You know what I mean? I think that comes with a whole lot. That's a lot. I'm saying a lot in that. What's up, Jeff? What's up, everybody? Yeah, I mean, without that, I really ain't got nothing. I mean, because it ain't her. Whatever she think it is, it ain't none of that. You know what I mean? I think because if she don't do a good job convincing him that he's understood, she lost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things where it ain't no more steps, and she's probably going to be all the things. And I hate to say this, he can understand her, but if she don't understand him, it's, you know what I mean? You lost already before you started. To me, and then you're gonna start saying he's A, B, C, and D. But it came down to that, hey, he didn't really feel like you understood him. That's me. I think understand that top of the list.
I wrote down 3 things, right? So, I try to give us something foundation to grow from, to build from with the conversation. So I wrote down a couple of things when it comes to wife material. I say the way she carry herself.
Yeah.
The way she connect to her.
It don't matter though.
The way she connect to her man and how she honors and respects him, right? So the way she carry herself, meaning that, you know what I mean? She I remember you saying this classic line, I can't be shamed, right?
I can't be shamed. Now that's totally different. Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely, right? So when she carrying herself in a certain fashion, whether it be in the house or outside the house, that's a big deal. Number 2, how she connect with him. What you mentioned being how she need to understand him. She need to be able to show and display a level of just, hey, I connect with you. I'm on the same page as you, right? And then number 3, how she honor and respects him. So that's
listen. I don't want to deny that. I'm saying all of the above. I'm saying all of it because the only problem with it is that's what I'm saying about understanding him. For some people, that respect is like the top 2 things on this list. You see what I'm saying? For somebody else, it's a little different, but those 3 things are all incorporated. But I'm saying, to me, getting that, understand this, he's not joking. This is a big deal to him. You know what I mean? Somebody it is respect. Somebody it might be more shame. Some guy you like a booger wolf. He ain't even it ain't even no consideration. I'm shamed already, and I can't be shamed. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you need to get that. You need to understand that. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's stressed enough. And then a lot of times men don't do a good job at explaining it because we want you to get it.
Right.
What I mean? Don't turn into Dracula because we're at the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still, so I'm saying all that.
Hey, but
all
what
that,
you just said,
though,
Pastor, is a big deal because what in the area where I think that we as men, we kind of don't have it all together is just that communication part where you say, hey, you got to be able to explain, what it is that you're trying to get her to understand. And sometimes, I get it from even some of my dogs. It's like, I know they my boys. So it's like when they start to explain stuff, I get it. But I have to kind of be like, well, why, what about this? Or, why that? I really have to put it out there in a way that's like, well, you got to further explain to me. Because I already know if it was somebody else, you would just give me what you think I should understand and then leave it at that. you know. So when it comes to communication, we think about, you know, what men say and women hear. You know, it's been plenty of times. I just know of my own, you know what I mean, experience. It's been plenty of times I've been trying to relay a message, and for the longest time, I'm trying to get a point through it, and I realized I got, like what you say all the time, when you give me your, let me come another way, right?
Yeah.
So that let me come another way, like you good at that, but like sometimes when you come another way, you come another way that I had no idea, like that thought was even out there until you break it down.
But what you're saying is so good, because if we really gonna talk about should a man marry one's potential, a lot of times, I hate to say it, a lot of women lose because they ain't got another way. Most women get so set in their zone, and a man fall for that, but not men. They're not doing that. Now they're saying, hey man, if this girl ain't got no other option, she only can talk like this, she only can respond like this, I ain't going for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because if the goal got to be, I tell everybody, even in my counseling sessions, hey, if you frustrated, you mad, but you say you're trying to get understanding through this argument or whatever the disagreement is, make sure the guy hears solution in your voice.
Right.
Like, make sure he hear, I'm trying, because if not, like, you know.
So I mean, hold up, before we move on though, because I remember you saying that, but you know, it's people on here watching that might not remember what that meant, right? Now, to me, when you saying that sounds like in the midst of the disagreement, there need to be some type of you know, aroma of we trying to get to a resolution here, as opposed to we just trying to battle each other out.
Right. Because if not, what ends up happening is you start taking offense to something that ain't even that serious. Like I gotta hear, not attitude. I gotta hear. I gotta see all implications that you're trying to understand, because that's what's gonna keep me going. You know what I mean? To the guy, I always tell women all the time, the man don't get no cookie because you showed out on him and you flipped out. He ain't really even so excited that he know he right. So people say, oh man, he just want to be right. Fine, you want to be right. Like, that ain't his joy. It's what it starts with is you understand him. You know what I mean? And so to me, that's, I mean, you lose, you're gonna lose him in 5 minutes. Because he feel like, hey, he can't get nothing through, then he through talking about it. It ain't even gonna be no more conversation on it. You know what I mean? And so back to my point of potential, like, I wish I could say that, man, like, it's changing, man. It's 2021. But he ain't like the average man now, he trying to figure that out off real. You know what I mean? Because if you say stuff like, well, I am working on my anger, you know, I do be getting in mood swings, you finna lose him. You tell him, you know, I do okay sometimes. Just give me a chance.
Women gonna be like, hey, I'm giving you honesty. I'm you know, I'm revealing, you know, being honest with you. You saying that's gonna lose him?
Yeah. Because that's still potential. And I don't know if a man gonna marry that. He'll kick it with you. You know what I mean? But
and that to me sound like she need to be already healed. She need to already be wife. She need to already be, you know, past those traumas and toxic, you know, qualities that she may still hold.
Right. Or she got to be able to speak like that's a real goal of hers on her own. Like, hey, you know what? I'm almost there. You know what I mean? I got a little more. I know I got to do, like, before I'm ready to, you know, give my all. I know I need to be doing it. Like, just say it. Right. Not everything's up front. And, you know, being honest about how you feel about it. You know what I mean? So that's 9 days different. But when you just like, this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm too old. Like you just supposed to deal with me. Like, come on, you crazy? Yeah, it's crazy. Ain't nobody gonna deal with that. That's all potential. You possibly gonna cuss me out. Yeah, I done busted ones out of the car before, but you know, I have been working on my attitude a little bit. Like, you crazy. And what's crazy is now men are not as how do I say it? They're not as quiet as it used to be. I you know, I come out of the world where, hey man, you got a little issue, you really don't kill a girl unless she go there with you. You just kind of like, you know, you know, okay, yeah. Right. Nah, man are just, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just a cultural end, man. Dude tell you not, man. You know, you ain't got it, and you stink. You know, and it'll be like, yeah. I mean, a lot of men. I mean, I used to be able to tell when a man really cared about a girl, because he wouldn't really tell her the truth. He'll still spare her feelings. You know, I could tell he cared about, like, you know, he ain't gonna. He'll get with his boys, be like, man, I can't stand that. When he get around her, like, baby, you know what I'm saying? Just don't get so upset. You know, let's just talk about it. Like, I know
Right.
he's still sparing her. You know what I mean? And then he get with his boys like, man, I be dealing with this man, and she don't do this, man. The food is nasty, right? You know, but he be sparing her, so I can always tell, man, this dude really love you. I'll get with a woman, I talk with her, and I counsel him and say, listen, man, this dude really love you. But I'm really trying to tell her, she said, well, I don't know, Pastor, he love me. I'm trying to say he's sparing you still. But now we're living in times now where that potential, man, it ain't enough. You know, because think about it. I showed you that post one time where they're saying, hey, a man got to now be financially stable for a broke chick.
Oh, right.
Like that's like that's a requirement now that he got to be like this and she don't. So I'm saying now what's happening is men now saying, hey, what you got that's legit.
Right.
You know, so I'm saying that's I hate to say it, ladies. That whole you the prize, and I still believe biblically you should be the prize, you the queen or whatever, but man, this world we live in now, that's that double standard now is coming to a head. And a lot of men just not saying, hey, I'm not gonna go off your potential. Just like we tell women, oh man, that's just the opportunity potential. You know what I mean? That's not, that's not real. It's potential. That's just what he said.
Right. Now,
Men
see,
saying
here
the
go the
same
thing,
thing.
though. To me, my beef, though, is the fact that when we had conversations like this, it's only one-sided. And I asked the question, should a man marry a woman's potential? Because you don't ever had this conversation had
No.
in this direction. Like, it's under the assumption that the man need to be built up, the man got so much work need to be done, and that women just, settling for these men that are broken and need to be built up, and all of this, build a bob type stuff,
Right.
to where
But I think a lot of that's due to men. I think we don't do a good job we don't have a list. Like I told you, most times we just won't respect, we won't understand some of the things you said, but it's not even, it's such a double standard because there should, I always go back to this, there should be at least one thing that every lady can agree on, that, hey man, come on, this shouldn't be an option for a man. We,
right,
as women, as black women, whatever the culture, whatever it is, that, hey, this should be a guarantee that this guy get this, man. And it's never like that. They always argue. If you say cooking, that's too much. If you say sex is too much. If you say
right,
anything, you know what I mean? It's
right.
always gonna be
You misogynistic, you sexist, you
yeah.
all of these phrases and terms.
Then if you say, hey, she should be working too, working. Come on, I'm a man supposed to be everybody. It's so many. It's no agreeing. So what happens is now you got a whole lot of possibilities, meaning potential. And man, men ain't signing up for potential. They want stuff too.
Right.
And if they say that, they're a bad person. So they got to say
No,
it.
you're not a man. Let me be honest. You're not a man. I'm not a man. You're not a man. Men are not men. All because we're too sensitive. Now we want stuff. Now we need to be treated,
Right.
fairly.
Be a
Now
man
we want.
already. Yeah, don't
Like
have no
now, it's
feelings.
almost like the tide doesn't change, and you have men talking about how much they want that same equality when it comes to the fight women had for equality in society. It's almost like now we're just asking for that same, platform to be able to say, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I should be able to spot something out, and it not be an attack on you. But so many times, like I said, these conversations I had, and you might have made a mention why, but to me, like I say, still, I think it's under the assumption that it's taboo, it's wrong, we you know what I mean, we too sensitive, we too whatever the case is, all because it's like, hey, the men that you say, hey, they willing to speak up and say, man, nah, like you ain't it, or hey man, listen, that
Or
you
that's not,
and you think
or that's not enough for me. You know what I mean? It's not like, just like a woman can say, hey, you know what? Yeah, your job situation kind of bothering me. You're not really where I thought you should be at this place in your life, and you know what I mean, whatever. I'm saying, men saying the same thing. Hey man, I just really thought, your attitude a little bit better. I just ain't with that little stinky act. Like I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody who's a grown, who can communicate without popping off. And well, I was just mad. Just give me some time. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on that. Like, don't just make. Like, no, I don't want somebody who's still working on talking.
right, that's potential that you asking me to accept.
Yeah. But I just been through so much. Okay. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? Because you ask somebody to commit to something that he hates. Some men hate being disrespected. Any slick rapping, all that kind of talk. A guy looking at like, what you? I mean,
I told you about what I told you about
Yeah.
that conversation I had, and that was
Yeah.
just me just thinking, not even like it was just in my mind. I'm like, bro, like if you were a man, like you wouldn't have the mouth to speak half the words that you were saying,
Right.
because
You
all
wouldn't
the
come
way
at me
on
like this.
film.
Right. Yeah.
But that's
No,
wrong.
no,
That's
I
wrong.
thump.
Like I'm sorry, and I didn't know how to word that better at the time. Maybe I could have said, hey, my temper, or I get like, nah, but I'm like, man, and my wife, I'm like, nigga, where you getting about one fight every year? I'm like, I'm trying to, what I mean, get right, and that's, pray for me, like how you
Right.
say, because that ain't where I want to be. That ain't what I want to be known for. But sometimes it's just certain things. So,
This is what it
but let me
is,
move
right?
on, right? So I want to know, like, is a woman truly wife material if she adopt that concept of marriage is a business? We hear that all the time. What you think about that? If a woman think in her mind marriage is a business, can she really be viewed as wife material? Does that even play into it? And as I'm asking you, Pastor Dozier, everybody that's clicked on right now watching, I'm asking you the same thing. Because I know, ladies, some of y'all out there adopt that mindset and don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I just want to have a quick discussion about it, because I'm thinking like that can play a role in how she commit to a man, or how she really honor him, if it's based upon that business mindset. What you think?
Well, I think it's two things. If we just going, obviously, it's not a legitimate business because you're talking about two people. But if we're going to use that analogy and make that the source of it, I'm okay with that. If you really one of those kind of people that's about your business, like if you're going to use that analogy, because right now that's a hard thing to do. The reason why people shun that whole word of managing our business, because people don't take business serious. People don't take their job serious. People don't build careers no more. People work at a job and for 10 years be working on their own thing. Like that's why it's hard to make it that serious, because back in the day it used to be, hey man, we made a deal. Like it was a business deal and people gave their lives to that business, that mom and pop shop and that piece of shop. Like it was their dream and there wasn't no changing it. Wasn't no we switching up later on and we're gonna go with something else. So a lot of times it's just hard to grasp that marriage is a business, because what I'm looking for is the commitment in it. And usually when people were our forefathers, our parents, they were serious about their business. Like they worked at that job for 40 years and they like it wasn't
right.
right now nobody had a job more than 4 or 5 years. Their resume changed and I'm trying to get this other job. So that I'm okay with marriage as a business if it's really about that you serious about your business. That's a good example. If I can look at your track record and say, okay, your commitment's like this. You said you was gonna do this here. You got this job. All your goals you stick to. You stick with policy. Right. Yeah, but man, come on, man. You don't give me no marriage as a business and look at your track record. Ain't nothing about you. You know what I mean? Like your resume shows you ain't
but
about
still,
no business.
see, even I'm saying, like, so my pushback on that is, even if she good with business and her track record with managing whatever is great, still to me that mindset, like I have a problem with that mindset, because what happened is, at the end of the day, car crash happened, some kind of tragedy happened, like don't nobody care about what y'all got in y'all bank account, or if y'all gonna still go on that trip. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so when the coronavirus happened and everybody, all that, traveling and we vacation and all of that, like when that slowed down, now you remember you had so many couples. You told me about how the stat of domestic violence was heightened during the pandemic, because you had so many people now got to really look at each other and say, hey, some of those, couples goals pictures that we was posting that was really kind of like flaw on the low, that were really wasn't real. Now we really got to look each other in the eye, and now I don't really seem as, appealing as it was before. Now you got people going at each other net. And so this is why I'm saying, really, the marriage should not be rooted in this business concept. I just think it should be rooted in love. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. So I hate the term, but I've heard someone kind of using a different analogy and saying, hey, even your resume, even relationships, when it came to business, you ain't, you know what I mean? So you're not credible. I wouldn't hire you. Right. Back to the point of you may go off your potential and you ain't legitimately a great relationship or a great employee, great for business. If we just basing it off of your relationship resume, your goal setting, things that make your potential higher for the man. You're not one. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna go further than that.
Here go the thing though. Here go the thing though, when you see everything else being in the world right now, think about it, right? Let me just vibe with me. Everything else in the world being based upon something that ain't real, like it's validated off things that's not real. Case in point, social media. You got people really on social media think that they really famous because they got 100,000 followers, or because they got a, you know what I mean, like really moving, like, cuz, like, you know what I mean, let me get the red carpet, make sure, you know, I got my water over there, and I don't like just regular water, and I need some lemon zest in my water just for this, like, and you like,
Right.
what? All
Right.
because
Right.
making all of these different you know, recommendation suggestions and all of this stuff simply because they feel like, hey man, come on now, you know, when I come into town, make sure. And you know it in the pastor world, Pastor Dozier, you know what I mean, in the
Yeah.
ministry world, sometimes you have, and we're not calling on it because I don't know, but I'm gonna venture to say that there are some pastors that really kind of feel like, man, look, I gotta move with security, I gotta keep, you know what I mean, because I don't, you never know. And it's like, bro, like you're not on that level. But again, so that to me goes into the point of how so many women would make mention of, hey, I am wife material. And you got dudes that saying like, you haven't, what, with your track record, I don't see your longest relationship was 9 months, or you know
Right.
what I mean, like you don't really know
2 years off and
anything
on.
what men want. It's all about how, what they got to do for you. And now you saying, hey, well, look at me, I'm wife material.
Right. 2 years off and on. And you saying you wife material. No way. But I understand, like I said, I understand both sides of it, because when it comes down to it, everybody fights this perception of what people know that I am and what they really want you to be. So I don't like, because what you're really saying is, what should a man marry a woman's perception? You see what I'm saying? Because you fronting like this, but when a man knows that it's not legit, you want him to go with it and believe that's how you'll be in the long run. And that's,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I think some men, they done been through so many things. And so now I think what a lot of women forget is, just like women say they know what they want, men can know what they want too.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I want, so I know this not it.
Right.
And so, you know, I hate to
Nah,
say it, but just like,
you playing because you know you want it. Like that's the whole like you. There is no, this ain't real. This ain't what I want. It's, oh, you just want to play.
yeah, yeah. I agree. They do all say that, but I think a lot of times women not taking for granted. Hey, you got a lot of men, um, who are trying to position themselves for relationships in better ways. So you ain't gonna be able to tell them, not being provided. They already got it on their mind. But before they be a provider for you, they need something back. And so that,
Mm-hmm.
and not going off of just, I wish to say, cute used to work. Cute alone was working, and fine, sexy, whatever it was to work. But that, man, come on, man.
Let me see.
Man,
We got a
God
question
take.
came in from Facebook. So it said, "How do y'all feel about looking at marriage like a parent or any family member? You respect or love them no matter what. How do you feel about
I'm
looking at
okay. I'm
marriage?"
saying like a parent family. You like, I totally agree. I should tell people in couples all the time that, hey, you know that line that you have with your family member, your mom, you never cuss her out, you never disrespect her like that. Then why you won't do the same thing for this person that you claim you love?
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with it. The only problem with it is that person don't see you as family yet, and that's what's hard. That's why most men flip out on respect, because they're saying, hey, we know you can do it. You don't do it over there. You don't do that with this. You don't do this with your mom. So why I get in the business?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, uh, you know, I mean, I've seen a lot of men struggle, but at the same time, I've seen women do the same thing. Like, hey, I don't got nobody in my family talk to me like this.
Right.
You mad?
Right.
You flipping out? You know what I
And
mean?
then the same can be said when women make mention, oh, I ain't never had no man or no authority figure as a male kind of, you know, put me in check, or, you know, kind of have some authority over what I'm doing. So that be a battle that you hear women have when they saying, hey, well, you know what I mean? Oh, like you coming at me like this. It's almost like they don't know how to take it. A man could be kind and sweet even in his delivery, but it's still stern enough to be like, I'm trying to make a point. And with that, even is like turned into, oh, you attacking me, or you know what I mean, like you kind of being abusive, that's toxic, all of these words that make it unacceptable for him to even voice his opinion, or in any way to say, hey, I don't like this. Like you said, man should have that, should have a right to be able to say, regardless of what you think about it, just respect the fact that I don't like this. Now if we're gonna move forward, you can change it. If not, I'm gonna move on. But it's not, it's not that I don't want a relationship, I'm not trying to get married. It's just that certain things I see, I should be able to say ain't it. And that's it
Right.
right there. So
I think that I don't know if any woman could admit it, but I think women notice it. I mean, I don't know if any woman online tonight that'll be willing to be honest about it, but can a woman ever be honest and say, okay, I know this man was with me. He had a problem with something I was doing, and he was just kind of riding it out with my potential because I knew he knew it was a problem, but he didn't really like blast me for it. But I knew he had an issue with it. But he just, and I'm telling you, I'm saying this with whole heart. I don't know what happened. To me, that's a good dude who ain't blowed your whole spot up. Like you know he got an issue with it, and he just trying to spare you. He's still like, you know what I mean? I've seen women.
Pastor Dozier, I think that they double down. And when it comes to this, like, remember I talked about a topic I covered called why men cheat if they're happy, right? And I basically broke that down, started out to say, hey, listen, you got to ask yourself, is he happy or is he really just keeping the peace? And when we talk about tonight's topic of should a man marry a woman potential, what you speaking on is a man saying, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna ride it out for a little bit because I'm keeping the peace based upon what I perceive your potential. I know you can do it. I know you can do such and such and such and such. But even when women feel that vibe, like he's not connected like he was, they still like turn up. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to a certain degree, but I think women notice it. I think when a woman rah gorilla on a man, and she see the dude be like, man, like I think she see the dude like dealing with it. So you know what I mean? Yeah, he may not be happy, but that dealing with it moment, I don't think a woman. I think she recognized that moment, but I don't know if she recognized it. Hey, right now, here's that moment of what he's trying to figure out: do I go with this potential or not? You know what I'm saying? It's them moments. And a lot of men, you know, a lot of men, we won't say stuff, you know what I mean, unless you don't rile them up, you know what I mean. But most times, man, a man, I hate to tell women this, but man, they jotting on you. You know, another thing, write that down. Like they because what you looking at is a commitment, meaning marriage. And he's saying, man, come on, man. Every time we get mad, you flip out. You go here, you do this. You know what I mean? And so I don't think women are, well, hey, yeah, man. I see this guy dealing with the possibilities of me. You know, I'm just saying I don't think without that you're gonna lose. I think you gotta be able to see, hey man, what part of me as a woman is just potential.
Right. And what you doing right now, you just unlocked a different thought in my mind where I was saying to myself, well, when we talked about the topic, the pacifier ring, and we talked about how it's not always and what a woman thinks about, oh, he just trying to, string me along. And when we talked about that, it's like, hey man, sometimes a man trying to get right, trying to get his chips together, trying to get his situation right. Not only that, sometimes he might be trying to ride out your potential and see if you're gonna actually make those improvements, because he might say, hey, listen, you know what? I see some good qualities. I do see some things that make me feel like I want to, stay committed to you. But at the same time, even in the fact that, hey, it's not even so much a pacifier ring. It's more so she asking for the ring but not getting it, or feeling like we've been together for so long. Why haven't you proposed? We've been dating 2-3 years, and whole while it could be something like what you mentioned, where in his mind it's like, man, come on, you got all of these things going on, and it ain't easy to talk about. So, ladies, that'd be the problem right there, where it'd be like, just talk to me, open up, and it'd be like, man, come on, man. I'm trying to have a good night tonight. I'm trying to have a peaceful night.
Right.
Playoff song. I'm not even trying to go there with you right now.
Yeah.
And she like, well, come on, like, see this, you don't want to fight for it. You don't want to fight for it. You're like, you're right. I don't want to fight. But that's something that just came up in my mind when you started mentioning that. But sometimes you got to do like, man, listen, man, there's some stuff going on.
Yeah. And what you're saying is true, is because I just don't think the emphasis on relationships is the woman noticing anything about the man. The emphasis is always the man got to notice anything about the woman. So if the business fail or this fail, it always points back to, okay, so what he did. Well, you should have known what she was dealing with. You should have understood what she was going. She had a lot going on that day. Like, come on, like I done heard women specifically say, Dominique too. I heard many women say, hey, something bothering me. You got to track what happened all day, figure out why I'm in this mode. Like, and so that means he got to fall in love with somebody potential that may talk, may communicate. Like, come on, man, it's too many mays, too many possibilities. And so it should be something. And I probably say this till I die. I don't think it'll be an answer till I die. It should be one thing that all women say across the board that, hey, this man deserves to at least understand this, know this. If we're going to put men on the pedestal and say, guess what, he should be a protector and provider, all of that. We got to have something besides we all got potential. Come on, man. You know what I mean? And then you wonder why some of the men backtracking away from marriage, because it's like, hey, I meet this chick, her standard is this. And so now I got to vibe with this. And then I meet her, she don't even believe like cooking that's in the 50s. Like, and now you got to try to respect her way, and you know what I mean? And then this girl here, she all about cook, she all about old school, but at the same time, when she get mad, I'm sorry, but that's just how I am when I get mad. After all, I was mad. Like, that's just,
right.
I mean,
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna read these comments because I see Kalisha tapped in, Jeff tapped in. So
I see Kalisha.
Men don't respect women saying she wife material. Men respect a woman showing she wife material.
No question.
So that's the thing that blows. Like, listen, I don't know you about that. Like, show me from the state. So let me see. She said someone may have potential, but it doesn't mean that they will grow because of it. I learned by dating men that have potential only leaves you empty and alone. Right now, but let me ask Kalisha on the flip side: what if a man saw you as the one that was like, well, you got potential, but like, it's some stuff that you got to figure out. And I'm not saying
I already know.
I know you. It's just this conversation you don't hear coming from the man side. Let me see. Jeff said, I don't think women know that they're being spared, which in turn some continue their reckless behavior, which is what I was saying, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like, they go hard, they double down. You feel me? Like, it's almost like they see that and it's like, so what? And okay, right? And then it's like they triple that effort of trying to punish you, trying to diminish you.
Yeah, and then if he go there with her, she's never gonna forgive him for it. For being honest, she's gonna never forgive him for being honest ever. Right. She'll bring it up 10 years later, 4 years later.
And it happens. And ladies, if we lying, we fly in the comments. It's
man,
open
it's true story. This true story just happened. Listen, this just happened yesterday with a pastor and his wife. Pastor's wife had noticed my wife had white toenail polish. So she says, oh, you got white toenail polish? My husband said he think it's white out on your toes, right? So she flipping out on him saying, he said that was almost 3 years ago. I said that one time, but don't matter.
Right.
I like it. It's okay. It was 3 years ago. She saying, nah, he think it's white out. Like, that was 3 years ago. I said, what? Like, I like it. You done had it since then. Why would you bring up something 3 years ago? Because what happens is, one day they was in a little, obviously, a disagreement, and he went there on everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? My point is, she never gonna forgive you for it. So if you're a man out there and you decide to tell her the truth, don't think for 2 seconds she's gonna let it ride. It ain't. Like, it just, you got to shake off what she say, but she ain't gonna shake off what you say. Right? That's how it go.
This is why I was saying my pushback on that. I was like, man, listen, man, I know some women out there, like, until you establish why you should be respected, right? We goes back to, a man having to prove his worth and show what he bringing to the table before she, remember how I started the show. I said a lot of women talk about, once I get this husband, these qualities are going to come out. You don't get access, Pastor Dozier. You don't get access, Clarence, until to this side of me unless you've made this full-on commitment, and that's under the assumption that he marrying that potential. He got to commit to what she say she gonna give him.
I ain't giving all of me.
That return gonna come.
Yeah. I ain't giving all of me for that. I ain't opening up. I mean, like, I'm just not supposed to just give you all of me. You supposed to give me all of you, and I decide. That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? That's, and then just like we said, hey, what about?
Well, if you buy the cow, you know what I mean? Like, you got to buy the cow before you get the milk and all of these things. Yeah. So it's almost like this. It's almost like Pastor Dozier when you talk about how pastor bring up one scripture and then the whole sermon be off one scripture that he can't even cross reference with something else. It's just that,
Right.
well, I got this in my back pocket, my ace in the hole.
Right. Yeah. Can't build no whole philosophy behind this one little thing. What are we talking about? You know what I mean?
Right.
But and what you said, what you asked Kalisha, I don't know, that's a real question. Hey, what if it's on the other side? What if a guy says, hey man, I'm tired of feeling empty off potential. I'm tired of the argument over it, and I'm still somewhere feeling empty, believing you're gonna respect me one day and honor me one day and be like, what if it's him? Is it okay for him to just say, hey, you know what, I can't keep feeling empty like this, I'm leaving. Potential is not enough. Cause then it turned around like, really?
See, here go the thing though. My beef is this, because you know, I'm a 90s baby, you know, I'm T.I. and Rick Ross and Trick Daddy. So in my mind, you know, I heard this statement from T.I. Back in trap, was not trap music, but one of the first albums he put out. He said, hey man, I don't know what you'll do for your respect, but I'll die for mine.
Yeah, it's Rubber Band. It's Rubber Band, man. Yeah.
Right. Now, in my mind, when I heard that, I'm like, I stand by that. You dig what I'm saying? So when it comes to like what you saying, how women will double down on that, it's like, this is why I say to myself, like, listen, ladies, y'all don't know how tough it is for a man to put up with that. Because when you start talking about, hey, what if he, you know, wants more? What if he fed up with this or that? I think the image that pop up in a woman's mind is a man in a little coat, and he just, you know, what if I feel like I need a little bit more in this, and it's almost like, come on, man, don't try us just because he's making statements like he really just coming off the head with how he feel, but yet we get labeled and pictured as that guy that's curdling and please just, you know, like that whole vibe.
Yeah. I still think that, like what Jeff said, it's kind of true, man, that hey, women don't know, man, men be spaying them out here. And then the man that don't, I'm not saying that they're necessarily, they might be wrong in their delivery of it, but they're being honest. Like, you know what I mean? But then women say, oh man, all he do is lie. Well, you took the other lie when he spared you. You wanted him to lie about that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Ain't that crazy how they work? All right, so
yeah.
Well, let me see. Y'all came in Facebook, man. Y'all locked in tonight, man. Appreciate y'all. She says she respected what he said about the white polish. Now, how she was supposed to know his mind changed. I'm convinced men don't know what they want. That's why y'all feel women can't agree on what she should bring to the table.
Yeah, that makes sense if we disregard the fact that, hey, if it was 3 years ago, matter of fact, 3 years ago, there was, you know, whatever the issue was, that was 3 years ago. And now the fact that, hey, whatever has happened, notice the man has moved on 3 years ago, and it just shows how the potential, if he really wanted to follow, if his issue was, hey, we go from one step to the next step, and it shows this woman can't, because women have a tough time moving on from a man's truth, which is the basis of that whole story. It says, hey, this is why he's always hesitant with telling it. He does know what he wants. He just don't know if you can handle it. You know how many times I've had women in a situation, I was like, man, tell her he got to wait till in front of me because he can't. There's a possibility this don't go well.
Right.
You want me to really say how I feel? No way,
man.
And we gonna be together still.
I done seen it in counseling sessions, man. It's the same thing. It's almost like, hey, you know, you are that hedge of protection for him to be able to really say how you feel.
Yeah. I've never seen a woman say, well, you want me to be honest? And he says, yeah, I want you to be honest. And she says, no, I'm not sure how you're going to take it. No, she going to be honest. Yeah. But I've seen many men say,
top of flying, cuz shots fired.
Yeah, I've seen many men be like, okay, you be honest, just tell me, it don't matter. And so that thing go left.
Here's my next question, Pastor Dozier. Everybody locked in right now, Facebook, YouTube, man, y'all showing love. Here's the question, Pastor Dozier. Should a man have faith in a woman being able to turn on her femininity if he proves he's a good man? Should a man have faith in that? Should he have faith in a woman being able to turn on that femininity that she says that he's going to access, that she says he's going to have access to?
He can't have no faith in it, because that means she already have seen him, interviewed him, first date, and it wasn't worthy of what most people get automatically. Most people say, hey, guess what? I give you this. I trust you till you give me a reason not to. I'll do this to you. So you want a man to be convinced that, hey, oh, once you meet this criteria, then you can get in. Man, you crazy.
Right.
That like what you're trying to do is you want him to go off something that ain't natural to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, so what natural to you now, if he does something this, then all of a sudden it's gonna be natural. It's gonna be, come on, you coming in the door saying, I ain't got no problem with hiding stuff and hiding who I really am to you. You know what I'm saying? That's nuts. Yeah,
hey, you crazy,
I have no problem with being totally honest because I met you like that.
Right. Somebody
Which
say,
also means
turn it on. Why is it off? That's the point right now. The question, why is it off, is easily explained because of men, because the last guy I dated, because of my last experience, because overall men out here that I meet are a certain type of way, right? This is what we hear as men when we sit, and even if we on the sideline, married and all, and just saying, dang, like that's, so it's all men. It's just every time, anything, any occasion, any situation, no matter what, you know what? I turned it off and I have the right because X, Y, and Z. Never do you hear a woman say, hey, I turned it off because I don't know, I really don't know how. Or I really sometimes I'm not comfortable being a certain type of way. And certain, you don't hear that type of talk. You hear more of, I can tell you why, Pastor Dozier. It was those no good guys out there. All they want is this, right? And
so watch
at the
this.
end of the day, like I said, it's a potential that a man got to buy into, that she is, like you said, going to have this femininity become natural to her all of a sudden based upon him proving himself. The proving himself is the beef I got. Like, why is it he got to prove and you ain't got to prove?
My beef ain't even just the man got to prove himself. If you turned it off because of hurt and because of this, right? So we know you didn't turn it off in a day. But now you're just gonna turn it on when you feel like it? Come on, man. Like what? Right. That doesn't make sense. It took you all this time because because I don't want to be in that place no more. So I turned off, this mode because I didn't want to be hurt. So but if you do this, it's done. Like, come on, man. It ain't like it's what happens. Too many men have seen, man, you can't just turn it off. He did everything right that day, that week. And guess what? You was like, just give me time. I've been doing everything on my own for so long. It's just not that easy. And now he back at Potential Street. No way.
Right. So how long, and I'm not asking you, Pastor Dozier, but I'm in general, how long should a man wait on a woman's potential? Because those things because here go the thing, right? A lot of women will say, hey, listen, all right, I've been dating myself for 2 years. Now I'm ready to get out there, right? And I asked the question, have you been waiting or have you been working? That comes from you, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you waiting 2 years, and just because you've been by yourself doesn't mean you actually been healing and you have this transformation. You just been 2 years just on the shelf. So when women pop out and say, hey, you know what? Believe in the fact that I'm going to transition. And it's like, well, how long should he wait for that transition? Because essentially you asking him to have faith. Like my question say, should a man have faith in that? A woman being able to turn it on and snap it on like that, because that's what she want him to do. She want him for sure to say, hey, well, okay, I'm gonna give you more time. I'm gonna give you more time. I'm gonna give you more time. And then she turn around and say, well, it's been so long. Why you ain't proposed to me? Like that, like, and even that energy is almost like bulldog. It's just almost like, yo, you like you say, you gorilla girl, you know what I mean? You gangster girl with me and all of this, right? So, some of the comments say, yeah, like maybe, women don't realize it. Because like I said, it ain't always just a man. It can't always be. You can't always point the finger elsewhere. What they say, you pointing one finger out and one is pointing at you, right? And three pointing at you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree. My only beef, my real beef be why does a man you just met have to fight to get in when the goal is love and you ain't got to do the same? You see, like that, like just the basis of that is nuts to say, hey, so I'm expecting a man to meet me and understand me off rip and value me to the point where he says, I'm willing to keep trying. I'm willing to keep going for it. I'm willing to keep trying to fight. I'm willing because I want to get to this prize. That's and what happens is most women don't like to admit that, hey, man, this dude I'm with could be tired. So the guy I met, he's tired from tearing down bricks. I throw him back up while he sleep. He got to tear him back down. You know, he got to keep working. And we got to this argument just so I can turn back around and get upset again and lose my cool. Like, and so now it's not so much that, hey, he's not a man, but when he gets to that world potential, he love you so much, he's still sparing you. Now he just saying, hey, you know what? I ain't even gonna go there. So I hate to say it, and it's a whole lot of men that want to talk to people. Women, we live in a world where they talk about, you know, women settling. I promise there's a bunch of men right now. The reason why they can never go on no show like this, they'll never watch. You know why? Because they got to settle and be quiet. When he was like, oh, what Clarence saying is, but they what they gonna do? You gonna do like this,
right?
Baby, you like that? No, I mean, a long time ago I might have thought like that. You know, I ain't like them. He ain't gonna tell the truth because he done got accustomed to it. You know what I mean? So back in the day, everybody talked about how our old forefathers was. They wasn't communicating. They checked this at home. Game one on, Johnny's playing, and they just sat and watched. I mean, they never did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they said.
Right.
And every now and then, old coon back in their son, little son, like, you know, cheaper to keep up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't say nothing else. So I'm just saying, a lot of men just, you know, and they be asking, if you ask a man about that, who's signing up for a possible argument about something that, guess what, may not change anyway. He tell you the truth, and guess what?
Nothing.
What does he get out of that?
Right.
You gonna change? You gonna give him access? Come on, man. Maybe if you was like this, I'd be sweeter. Girl, you mean. You're nasty.
But the problem is you're not a man because you're not patient.
Right.
See, that'd be the thing. Like, I mean, so many labels to
be a
why
real man.
you're not validated as a good man
if
you didn't give me
man.
that landing strip. You feel me? You didn't give me that space or that time frame to be able to transition, right? And again, these are the reason why this question is framed, the topic is framed this way, is because Jeff and all the other fellas out there, we know, like, listen, we get this all day. It ain't no question. If 5 days out the week, out of 7 days, we're gonna hear about why we're not adequate enough, why we need to step up more, why we need to start making more money, be more ambitious and goal oriented, like you name it, be more romantic, like, you know, be more provider, be more silent,
be more everything.
I can't tell you how much you hear as when it comes to what men are not, and that's the reason why relationships are suffering. And my thing is what I said earlier: a man got to prove himself, right, first. So one of the questions I have: should a man have to prove his worth in order for a woman to show her value? Right, that statement of, when I get a good man now, you'll see.
Yeah.
If not, why do so many women live by that mindset of once he's proven to me that it's worth my investment, right? Then I'll show X, Y, and Z.
Well, I think one of the reasons why, if I had to play the advocate woman, is because there have been women gave a lot too fast, and so it's never she gave it too fast. It's always, look what the last guy did, you know. So don't do that no more. It's more,
right?
You gave it to him too fast. Like you'll do the same thing to a kid. You do the same thing to a teenager. You'll tell them you're moving too fast. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. The problem wasn't him. It was you did stuff too fast. Like that's anybody. Come on, if the person don't work for that, they don't value it the same. So you don't let them to the house too fast. Let them do this too fast. Like you did a lot too fast. You gave him access too fast, and then all of a sudden now it's like, hey, he ain't about nothing.
Right.
It was never, hey, you know what? Hey, I was a little mature about my decisions with this, and I was a little thoughtish to do some of these things I did, and he took advantage of what I thought I was grown enough or willing to do, and then in the long run, I'm hurt. So I'm saying the problem a lot of times is not so much that a woman shouldn't carry that value, and a man shouldn't even look at who she is, but you called it potential because back in the day, you moved too fast. Or the last relationship, you moved too fast. So now you're shutting down who you are because you move too fast. It's different. See, it's one thing to have a house and you saying, okay, man, I have this house, but I'm not comfortable with you coming there yet. But it's not a potential. It's something I have, I own, I possess it. So when the right time is there, I have it. What you trying to do is tell a man, I go get the house and I go get this better attitude and I go get all this. I go purchase it and get the lease. Soon as you start doing this, you don't have it yet though.
Right.
That's potential. You see what I'm saying? And you trying to play the man like he know you ain't got that. You ain't got a sweet week. You always have an attitude. You have an attitude with people that ain't him. You see what I'm saying? He know.
Right.
He know if you're disrespectful to everybody. He know if you are loving to this and you just not doing it to him. You see what I'm saying? So that part of it is the difference between what you possess and what's potential. You got potential. Right. It's like a guy saying, baby, well, I don't show you the world. Okay, well, I mean,
right.
Do you have any of that world?
As soon as my mixtape drop, you're gonna see.
Yeah, you're gonna see me. Just keep watching. You're gonna see. Yeah. And that's yeah, that's crazy. Ain't nobody gonna go for that. You got a car yet?
Right? So to me, so this is why I got this free high quality man versus low quality man audit checklist for those runners and those track stars out there, those women that do things a little bit too fast and know in the past I made wrong decisions, making choices off of things I might see. Some of the times those red flags appear and some of the women overlook it. Sometimes you just miss them. Sometimes it's just the fact that you don't identify them. You don't recognize them. You don't know what they mean. So, right, I put this together. This is free, by the way. You see the fingers pointing to free. All you need to go to the website, ladies, and download that from my website. It's a free audit checklist for you to be able to understand some of the things certain men gonna ask you, some of the statements they make, some of the places they go, some of the things that they do, right? It's for you to be able to, if you do handle your business in an expeditious fashion, now you can use this to your benefit as a tool and a solution to some of the things that happened in the past that you might lean on to say that, hey, man, based upon this experience, I don't know if I can trust like I used to. It's hard for me to just change and morph into this woman that's just so much of a cater to you, Beyonce type chick when I don't know if I should, and all of these type of things. Well, now you got a solution. Now you don't got no excuse. If y'all out there, go ahead and point ladies in the direction of this free checklist so that you can be able to get these women to understand that, hey, sometimes it can be just a matter of poor decision making, or you just not, like you said, Pastor Dozier, when a woman may think, hey, I'm at a point I should be able to deal with certain situations, but it end up hurting me, end up biting me in the end. Well, now you can move forward in a better direction, right? So that's just my offering to y'all that's out there watching. It's free. Relationshiphealing.co. You already see, shameless plug, but you already know this is gonna help you. This is not just me trying. It's free. It's free. Right. So y'all can't shame me to say, it's free, Negro. So go out there and grab that. You feel what I'm saying? Relationshiphealing.co and show love and do that so that you can be equipped. All right. So here go the thing, right? My question, we're gonna end this segment on this, Pastor Dozier. Should a woman's wife potential be valued and trusted if it hasn't been validated in some way?
No way. Why not? Just like I don't think it should be, because there's no validation. It's a dream. That's all I'm saying. It's different between possessing and its potential. If you possess something, then cool. I see it. I see right now you are like this, but you're not going to be this way until you see enough of me. That's different. If I go to a job, I see the job. I work, it's okay, man. They show me the office. They show me I could be. And these are all possibilities for me, right, if I meet the requirements. But don't talk about I'm a great this and I'm a wife material or whatever. And because based upon my list of wife material, I don't. You don't have nothing. You have nothing on here. You know what I mean? So I'm not validating.
Like, nah, but I had went to ITT Tech. Cause remember I had I had went to Job Corps. I don't think I forgot to put that on my resume. But anyway, I went to Job Corps, so I'm qualified, right?
Yeah. You got to go to Attitude College. I mean, have you graduated from that? Because I see you picked up a couple classes you've never finished.
Right. Well, I got my certification, so
right. Respect University. I want to know.
Most definitely, right. And this is why, like I said, I don't think that a woman's wife potential should be trusted if it's not validated, right? And this is no different. This is not putting women down, because listen, if we turn the table around, no question about it, a man got to have some type of validation. He can't say, hey, man, I'm gonna provide and you ain't got nothing to show for it. He can't say, hey, I'm gonna be able to protect, you can trust me. He ain't got nothing to show for it. Right. So the same can be said. This is not this is just equal footing for a man to be able to say, hey, listen, I'm supposed to trust the fact that, you saying you wife potential, you gonna do this, you gonna rub my back. If I need something, you gonna be there for me, all of these things. And I don't see none of that. And so I'm back to where I started earlier, where I said, hey, it's hard for a man to respect a woman saying she wife material. Man want a woman to show that she wife material.
Yeah, I agree. Gotta show it. Nobody care about what you're saying.
Most
And
definitely.
I wish I could say
Before we
your
get on up
resume
out of
don't
here, you
mean
got
that.
anything you want to add before we close this topic up, bro?
No, I just think I think this question shouldn't even be no real question. If it's always like that for women, why can't it be like that for men? That's that the fact that that's a question is a problem.
Right. Well, we
Because
seen some questions pop up. We seen some comments pop up that shows that hey, it's not always easily thought of. These even though to us as men, it's like this shouldn't even be a topic. We already know the answer is no. Man should
no,
not marry a woman's potential.
even
But
right. The reason why we got to discuss it, like, well, it's like this, and you just depends, and then maybe she don't know she turned it off. All those are maybes. But the question was, hey, should a woman marry a man's potential? It's 100.3% no. You know what I mean? And so the fact is, of course, like, no, we're different. Come on, after all, we've been through a lot. It's just, I mean, I saw some of the question. I was like, well, I know how this is gonna go tonight.
but for so many women, you know, like I said, it may be a different tune to hear this sound come from men to say, hey, listen, man, you know what? It ain't even no beef. It's just the fact that hey, this platform we can speak the real, we can speak the truth. Where in situations in relationship, you don't got that veil of protection, like you said. When you have couples come into your counseling and it's like, hey, I'm gonna wait till when Pastor Dozier come. Then we'll, hold on, and she like, well, what, how you feeling? Everything good? And he like, yeah, but hold on, wait till Pastor
Yeah,
Dozier get out there.
and even that's tough because I don't have the same situation happen to get from me. Then they're like, man, we got in the car, man, we ain't talk all the way home, man. She didn't want to talk, you know what I mean? Like, cause like, it's still the same thing. He's still catching it.
Yeah. And this is why you were saying, hey, that femininity you trying to switch on like a light switch, like it took you so long to get to a point where now hey, you even say you harden your heart in a way. You know what I mean? You done got to a point where now it's like it's comfortable for you to be like bottled up and be kind of real edgy, and now you got this attitude,
right?
And now you trying to force me to be convinced that now you just gonna look. Watch what you just wait till I say I do. Yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think it's a high percentage. That ain't a high percentage shot to me. That ain't. I mean, like,
that's a half
I'm not
shot.
saying men ain't doing it. It ain't high percentage. You know what I mean? So
that's what's up. So everybody that's out there, man, make sure you guys are stopping by the website on your way out, man. Y'all see it on all of the banners. It's going across the bottom of your screen. Relationshiphealing.co. That's the website, man. I got some good things coming out, man. I got some new merch, some different things. As you can probably see, got the little t-shirt right now. This relationship healing. That's all you got to search. Relationship healing. Add that .co on the end. Got the QR. These are smart shirts, man. I'm coming up with a new line inspired by Milk, man. With these smart shirts, where basically you have a QR code on the shirt. So if somebody wants to buy, they like the slogan, they like the shirt in any way, and they ask you, hey, where can I get a shirt like that? And now they can scan the QR code like you do in a restaurant and be able to enter, it'll take you straight to the place where they can buy the shirt. So that's something I'm coming up with. I got some new things rolling out, man. And also my book, Come and Talk to Me, The Women's Guide to Why Men Don't Communicate. Online course, ladies, how to attract a quality man in 30 days, man. These are all solutions to problems that a lot of women say they have. So if you really want to be about that mission of improving your situation and changing your destiny, your future, or whatever you feel like you really want to accomplish and attract, then you tap into these solutions because they really out here. And like I said, my free high quality man, low quality man, all that checklist, I keep saying it's free because in our community, you like, man, how much it was. You tell them how beneficial it is, how to change their life, all of these things. It's like medicine. It's almost like, man, no matter how many times you tell them, hey, it's gonna change this, you're gonna improve that. It's gonna, your swelling in your back gonna go down, your knees ain't gonna be cracking like they used to when you wake up in the morning. And all we want to know, our people want to know, how much.
How much it costs?
How much? It's all
right.
Good, Clarence. Yeah, you're right, Clarence. I might need that, Clarence. You're right, but how much? So it's free. So go tap into those solutions, ladies, fellas, man. Everybody that's out there, man, keep showing love. This is the Male Translations Podcast, where we break down the difference of what men say and women hear. Give men a voice, give women insight on relationships, we are the man's voice when it comes to relationships, man. Make sure y'all continue to support the pages, Relationship Healing on Facebook and Instagram, and support that Male Translations page on YouTube. All right, so we're gonna close the show out. Let me see, got one more comment just came in, man. Jeff, man, appreciate the love, Jeff. Man, you always tapped in with us every week, man. Appreciate it. You need to stop on down here back to Florida, bro.
He come back next week. He come next week.
Yeah.
For the leadership.
For sure. If you can make it, it'll be great if you can stop by. You already know. If you guys want to see Pastor Dozier, Bishop Dozier, who is the head lead pastor of the Place Ministries, man. I don't even know how to title it right, so forgive me, Pastor.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter.
So give the information about the place, because you forgot to put that out there, man. The Place TV and the Place TV on Facebook.
Yeah, the Place TV at the Place TV, like Tampa Bay on Facebook, and the Place TV, like your television on YouTube.
Right. So every I believe it's Sunday night, 7 p.m. That's when we broadcast live on Facebook. 5. That's when we broadcast live on Facebook, the services. So if you want to catch a word, if you want to tap into the ministry, and you be able to do it from your phone, from at home, from wherever you are, you can do so through Facebook and through the Place page on YouTube. So please tap in, man. It ain't just the Male Translations. I would ask and would want y'all to support, man. I'll be grateful if y'all do, but my church home as well. This is my pastor. This is my lead pastor. Like I told you, spiritual leader, good friend, mentor, big brother, whatever you need, I'm there. It ain't a question. And so I need y'all to support like I support, man. So that's the Place TV, like Tampa Bay, and the Place TV. All right. So we out, man. We're going to see y'all one more again, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Hit that share button. If not the like button, hit the share button. It costs you nothing to click. So we need that support. We need y'all to tap in. We need y'all to hit that share button or that like button, man. It really expands the reach of the show. So before you go, if you do nothing else, man, if you ain't getting nothing else out of this, at least hit share so somebody else can watch the replay if you ain't getting nothing out of this, so they can get something out of this. But I'm out, Pastor Dozier, man. Be safe, man. I'm going to see you later.
All right.
Peace.